Well, from America's election headquarters now, Ted Cruz finally getting the press coverage he claims he's been missing out on, but it might not be for the best reasons. Cruz is grumbling for weeks about all the attention that Donald Trump has received over the course of the campaign.
What I knew is that the media was engaged in a love fest, giving Donald Trump $2 billion in
Sounds
free
like
media.
you were engaged in a love fest, though.
Let's be clear. How many hours of free media does CNN and Fox and every other station, you let him call in, and for a year,
well, I
got
gotta say,
$2 billion
we've asked you for interviews pretty much every day, and you've declined every offer on my program.
Well, Senator Cruz is beginning to get more time in the spotlight, but it's because of his reputation in Washington. This after former House Speaker John Boehner just went off on him. Listen.
Lucifer in the flesh. I think Washington, I have as many Democrat friends as I have Republican friends. I get along with almost everybody. But I have never worked with a more miserable son of over my dead body will he be president.
That from the man who just left office as one of the most powerful politicians in this country, a couple of heartbeats away from the presidency. So is Ted Cruz actually benefiting from the media attention that Boehner has generated? Let's ask our media panel. Judy Miller is a Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter and author. Ellen Ratner, bureau chief for Talk Media News. Both are Fox News contributors. Before we start, I wanted to mention this quote from Jack Schaefer in Politico. He writes, "Any other politician would have winced at the characterization, the Lucifer thing, especially coming from a fellow Republican. But given his long-term success at extracting vitriol and bile by the barrel from those who should be his ideological comrades, we can only assume that Cruz craves the hatred and condemnation and regards Boehner's Lucifer comment as an endorsement." Does that make any sense? Ellen, let's start with you.
Makes all the sense in the world. You know, you're not supposed to care about the press you get as long as they spell your name right. And he's getting a lot of earned media. Free press is what we call it. And he's going to do well, not necessarily in this election, but he's looking at 2020. And if I fault the press, it's for not taking the whole enchilada into consideration, such as 2020. I'm fascinated to hear what Judy's going to say.
Well, Judy, it's rare to hear a politician describe, especially a fellow party member in the terms that Boehner used. But it seemed to me that Cruz spun it pretty well. I mean, suggesting that if you like the way the House ran under John Boehner, then you should vote for Donald Trump, that kind of thing.
Well, exactly. I have to say that the best thing that Donald Trump has going for him is Ted Cruz, because the Republican establishment, Republican conservatives have had such a hard time wrapping themselves around the alternative, who is Ted Cruz. I mean, I have never heard any politician be talked about in Capitol Hill as Ted Cruz is. I mean, when even Bob Dole, who is kind of liked and admired by all or by most, says, I really don't like the guy. When Lindsey Graham says, if somebody killed him on the floor of the Senate and there were to be a trial in the Senate, no one would be convicted. I mean, this is not a question of a man who has exceeded people's rather low standards for what will be tolerated in Capitol Hill. This is a man who has gone out of his way to create enemies, and I think it's coming back to haunt him. I disagree with Ellen. I think that the media coverage of him reflects how he is viewed by his peers.
But Ellen, this is a year when the voters seem to be crying out for somebody who will, kick down the doors and reform the system.
That's for sure, but that's why Donald Trump is doing so well, because if you look at Cruz and you look at Trump, Trump is really kicking down more doors than Cruz is. Cruz is complaining a lot, but Trump is coming up with some, you may not like it, I don't particularly like it, I'm a liberal, alternatives.
So are we to assume, Judy, that the coverage that he's getting, I mean, you mentioned he doesn't have a big fan club on Capitol Hill.
His wife and 2 children. I mean, I think that's it. I have yet to find anyone who likes him.
Well, now there's Carly
Fiorina
Fiorina who pretends to like him.
Right, pretends to like him for Indiana, and we'll see how long that lasts.
Ted Cruz responded to the Boehner comments yesterday. I want to play this for you.
When John Boehner calls me Lucifer, he's not directing that at me. He's directing that at you. What Boehner is angry with is the American people holding him accountable. That's what the anger is, because the corrupt system that Boehner and Hillary have been enmeshed with for years, funded by Donald Trump. Donald's writing checks to Boehner, he's writing checks to Hillary. He's funding the corrupt system. It is unaccountable to the people.
A pretty artful retort, I thought. Ellen, what's your take?
Well, it was an artful retort, but I don't think it's going to get him anywhere. And again, I'm dying to know what Judy says, because I always love to hear what she says.
Well,
all right,
we've
Judy?
been spending a lot of 1 to 4 a.m.s looking at the primary results together, and I've enjoyed it too. But look, no, I think he is completely wrong. He's demonstrating what Donald Trump calls Lion Cruz. Lion Ted. The reason that he is so unpopular, and it's that Boehner hates him, is that Boehner holds Ted Cruz responsible for ruining his speakership. Boehner could get nothing through that he wanted to do because of Ted Cruz leading a band against him, against every Republican.
Well, he holds up legislation.
Exactly, even Republican-sponsored legislation, so he has no allies. How you get elected in this country without political allies in your own party is a mystery to me.
We also wanted to play some sound of the president complaining about the press, but we'll have to save that for another time, because we've been talking about the guys who are running for the office that Mr. Obama now holds. At any rate, we will do that another time. Ellen Ratner, Judy Miller, thank you both.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.